So Masao said, you go and you touch all the salty bodies of water that surround the world. You must migrate to all 4 directions. And as you migrate, you will crisscross the center of the earth. But you will only come back to the center after you finish your 4th migration. Now remember, we had to touch the salty bodies of water that surround the world. Now, he then said, there is going to be one of your relatives that's going to go on this migration, is going to first start out on the first migration, but he is not to live here on this land where you are at. And this individual, he gave other instructions. He said, you begin the migration, but you are to cross the land. On the other side, you are going to come to water. There, you are to lash together reeds and sit upon the reeds and continue following the rising sun. And you will come to a land where there are people the same color as you. And what he meant by that is, we refer to individuals who are not this color as Bahana. And so a Bahana is a person who is lighter skinned than this. Doesn't mean white. There's a word definitely for white. So this Bahana crosses the land, meets the water, crosses the water, and we are told that he was and has encountered his own people. And that his instruction was to teach these people what he has learned and then return to his rightful people. Now, how he's going to find us is that we're going to leave a trail for him. Masao turned to the rest of us and he said, build your houses out of stone. And this is the way that you're going to build them. And he said, there are ways that you will build the doorways and build the houses out of stone. And in very ancient architecture here in the Southwest, you will find T-shaped doors. And this is in accordance to Hopi oral tradition that Masao told us that this will be a shape that this lost individual who's going to return to us will be looking for. And he said, when you build your houses out of stone and it's time for you to continue on your migration, do not destroy your houses. He said, leave them standing. This will be a marker for this Bahana who is going to come after you, and he will follow your houses like a roadmap to the center of the earth. He then instructed you women that you were to fashion pottery. Spider-Woman then showed you women the art of making pottery, and then he told you, you paint your designs on the pottery, your clan symbols, but also your maps. That you are going to create migration and emergence symbols. You start in the middle and you're moving in a clockwise position. This is an emergence symbol in accordance to Hopi. When you go counterclockwise, this is a migration symbol. This is indicating how the line disappears in what direction, which way you are traveling. So these, then he said, put these on pottery, but when you leave your houses, you break the pottery because it will remain for all time. This will be another indication to this lost individual who's trying to find the center of the earth in the direction that he should follow. So all of these abandoned places where you hear in Park Service and the National Park Service and so on, and they keep asking that age-old question, well, where did they go and why did they leave? Well, according to many of the tribes, it was time. They were following natural objects. My clan followed a star. We could see a star during the day and the night. When the star moved, we moved. When it stopped, we stopped, planted our crops, built our homes, and then it was time to move again. There were some clans in Hopi who followed animals. They met animals, the spirit of an animal, and they followed, and this animal then led them to the center of the earth. Some clans actually followed markings on the ground that they could physically see. So in accordance to native tradition, these places were abandoned due to the fact that they were going and continuing on their migration. Now, because I am a somewhat educated individual, there is the very strong possibility that these people abandoned their homes due to drought. Quite possible. But my inclination is to believe that the people who lived in this valley, very beautiful valley, you got great water sources and so on. The only problem being human, even natives had the tendency to overuse their environment. Hopi is a good example. We have been located on what is now called the Hopi Reservation in northeastern Arizona for approximately 3,000 years in one spot. We have been farmers, corn, beans, squash, melons, cotton, and in some areas around our villages, we have overtaxed the environment, created more sand. All of a sudden the natural vegetation started disappearing. There is a wash that runs down the valley next to my village. My uncles used to tell me stories that when they were boys, and that wasn't too long ago, when they were boys, that the wash, the water, was on the surface of the valley. You go there now and you look at Oraibi Wash next to my village, it goes down into the ground and has dug a small, well, a very large trench, almost 30 feet deep. Natural erosion. So we overtax the environment. So it's possible. The drought. So when you're standing at these places, and I challenge my students, tomorrow we're going north of Prescott to a site, and I challenge my students, use your eyes. Look at the environment. If you were somebody living there and you looked across the valley there, how many places do you actually see that would be a good, profitable place for a field? What sort of work do you have to do to get water to that field? And what happens if all of a sudden you go into a drought for 10, 12 years? The Southwest has been in a drought for 14 years. Yeah. So you look at the water, and it looks like there's a lot of water, but there isn't. Most recently, evidence of this, I went to Las Vegas 2 months ago. I hadn't been up there in a long, long time, and when I crossed Hoover Dam, I was shocked at the water level had dropped. I never knew that those two little round things that used to sit in the water of the lakeside were towers. You can actually see the towers exposed. And it's amazing to me. So it definitely, so it could be a drought. But speaking in natives terms, it was due to the direction not only of the earth spirit, but also of the Creator himself. We were all guided to our particular environments by divine authority. We weren't just walking by and went, hey, this looks like a great place to live, let's live here. I wish we did. Maybe we'd be living in Flagstaff right now. So it was due, in accordance, as I said, to native tradition, the life plan of our Creator and the directions of the earth spirit. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, good. Anything else?